Yeah, absolutely. And then, like, I've been in it for a while, and it's it's interesting. Finally, some people closer to me have been sort of coming around a little. The last time my sister came for a visit, I got her to watch 21 Flat Earth Questions by ODD, and because she was asking me things, and I'm like, you know what? Let's watch this first. It'll probably help, and because that goes through a lot of globe questions, and he covers a lot of things, and I think he does a lot of good work for it, and it's valuable information for newbies.
Yeah, definitely, because one of the first things that you encounter is the million questions that come from your own heart or that we will ask. And when people start that, you need to be able to interject it and say, right, here, do what you're used to doing. Here's an information source that isn't me, it's something that you can look at and see if I'm telling you the truth. And it stops that barrage or that flood of tell me this, tell me that, tell me everything. Yeah, I use
Mm-hmm.
that media a lot to do stuff like that. Yeah.
Where I was stuck with her was the like she's so everyone's lying, and I had to be look, I not everyone or everything is a lie. Like I had to sort of calm her down a little bit, and then be like, look, you gotta kind of look into it yourself a little bit and pick up the pieces. I don't have all the answers.
Yeah. We don't know more than NASA. We just know real things.
Yeah, like we know they're full of shit, and how's 62 million a day sound for a motive? Like, and then
Hey
like just go beyond
guys.
that. Like, oh, there's Redford. Hello,
Hey,
Redford.
I'm sorry. I was like, I'll let you guys finish, but I don't know if you guys are going to be finished for a few minutes. So,
Yeah,
can we start the Precious
go
Metal
ahead.
Takeover? You guys are good?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Go for it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good to hear you, old dude. Okay, so welcome to the Precious Metal Takeover. This is when the silver, gold, and I believe gold plus take over the live stream to answer your questions. So if you're not gold or silver, I ask that you please mute your mic. I will be your host for the next 2 hours of Redford Bear, and I have with me my co-host, Tap. How are you today, Tap?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thanks.
Awesome. I just wonder if there's a mod or admin that can send out. I think they usually do a notification every week when we do this. Helio, are you able to do that? Maybe he's not there. Yeah, anyway, so the question that we're gonna do
Wait,
today.
did
Sorry.
somebody ask if I was here?
Yeah, I was just wondering. I think usually the admins or the mods do in the announcements just to announce Precious Metal Takeover and ping everybody. So I just didn't know if you wanted to do
we
that.
already have the
or-
live streaming going, and I'm recording it, and I'll upload it later. So you guys continue.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Okay.
I didn't mean to mess it all up. It sounded like you were like hot and heavy on it. It's like I was like, yes.
I'm just sorry. I'm just checking to see if there's anybody that's VC verified. Weedy. You don't have any tags. If you want to go up to the VC check-in, there's somebody there that will be able to interview you. Okay, so I guess our agenda for today will just kind of be the same question that we had last week, just because we didn't get to very many people. So it's yeah, I'll actually let Tap continue with that since I already asked him last week. So you can take it away.
Hi. Okay. Awesome. So, the question for last week, in case some of you weren't here or you forgot, what was your most memorable encounter with someone in the server? This can be a globe earther or a flat earther or really anyone that you've come across in the server. So, if you guys, obviously this person must take over. So I'm gonna ask a few silvers. Crazed Commando. I don't think we've ever actually spoken to you before. Are you there?
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. And how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, except I sprained my ankle, so I'm laid
Not
up
good.
for a couple of days.
Not good. I hope you heal. I hope you get better. But apart from that, what would you say your most memorable encounter with anyone in the server would be?
Um, well, I hate to report a sort of negative memorable encounter, but I gotta say, arguing with that riding on eggshells fellow has been some of the most memorably gobsmacking frustration I've ever experienced. But as far as like the positive end of it, I mean, like I guess truthers have kind of a reputation of being ornery and sort of catty. And whereas it's not exactly a distinct memory, I guess the overall impression of this server is that everyone is not only open-minded to like other ideas, but also just more emotionally supportive people in almost any sort of group or area of inquiry that I've yet experienced. So that's been pretty cool.
That's great. Um, well, yeah, I don't really know. I mean, what to say from that. Yeah, that's great. Of course, the server is here, and we're all here to, I guess, create these sort of I don't really know how you would describe it, but these see, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like how we feel, we're here to, obviously encourage you guys, make you guys, better at, yeah, not only debating, but make you more comfortable and talk here. And I guess that's what Precious Metal Takeover is about. So, it's great that you guys are sharing your stories here and everything like that. Thank you, Crazy Commando. Are you a new silver, by the way?
I've been silver for about 2 months, I think, maybe
Oh,
maybe a
2 months.
month and a half.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I've never really seen you around.
Yeah, I'm usually working at this time of day, but because of my ankle, I'm out of work for
Okay.
the next little bit. So
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I hope your ankle does get better. And yeah, thank you for joining us today.
you know, um,
Of course, feel free to contribute if we have any other people that would like to talk to us. But speaking of people who would like to talk to us, we've got Imrail0632 with the VC verified role. Are you there?
No.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I
It
just
was,
usually don't like to start the conversation because I don't want to interrupt. Maybe something is going on, so I just enjoy listening.
oh, that's fine. I mean, we're gonna ask you a few questions anyway.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? Okay. All right. Awesome. So, what do you really think about the shape of the Earth?
What I do really think is that as far as I can see and observe myself, it's flat. But I would say that I am globe skeptical and flat skeptical as well, because I find some points where, well, it doesn't look like it's correct completely when someone is saying that, it's definitely globe. And there are some places where I think that, well, it's not also 100% believable when someone say it's absolutely flat. So there is a part that I can see, verify, and experiment that say, yes, here it's flat, but I can say the same thing for the whole Earth.
Okay. So, what were you saying? And correct me if I'm wrong, but you think it could be a globe, but it could be flat as well because you can observe and test things.
That's not
That.
what I said. I said
Oh, it's not?
that there is a possibility that it's not globe, because globe and flat not only two shapes in the world that exist.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
I don't say that you have to pick one of them. Because, for
Okay.
example, it's not something I believe in, but for example, I can describe a shape that would work perfectly, but it wouldn't be making any sense logically for me. But for example, as far as I can imagine a cup of tea, for example, like a shape of cup of tea, and the surface is a flat surface. So imagine that the words that we can observe is the surface of the cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that the cup of tea is flat. There is something else, we just can see it by being on the surface. Well, it's not the model that I believe in, but I mean that like if you try to fantasize, you can find some possibilities that will work as well. So that's why I don't want to like to definitely say, so no, it's this way and not another one.
Okay. Right. Well, that's interesting. I guess, does anyone, have any questions that they'd like to ask? I know, any sobers?
Yeah, he said he had globe proof, so let's hear it.
Me? I said there are
Yeah,
some
you said
things
there was
that...
globe evidence.
No, I said the opposite. I said some things of the globe that doesn't look like it's correct. Not the evidence, but the opposite of an evidence. So something that makes you think that no, it's not correct. And also then I said that there are something about the flat earth that for me looks like it's not correct. It's not the evidence of the flat earth, it's the opposite of the evidence. So that's what I said.
Oh, so what's...
So you're going to say you can't prove anything.
No, I can't. Well, if I was able to prove something, that means I would know for sure that something is one way, so I would have to choose one or another one. And as far as I can't prove, so that's why I'm not like choosing.
Okay, but
Don't you find it weird that you have no proof? Like you can't think of anything?
Don't I find
Yet
weird?
billions of people believe in this?
Could you repeat that? Or someone else, because I don't know if it's just me lagging.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up, Northern.
Oh, it's my lag.
Yeah, well, try it again, or drop out and come back in, maybe. Okay, I don't know if he's coming back now. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, okay, there. We'll give him another chance. Northern, are you there?
mic check. Sorry.
Yeah, you're there. Hey, Chop.
I'm good. All right, awesome.
Northern. Can we hear you now? That's worse. You're lighting up and I can't hear anything. Can anybody else hear him?
Robot?
No.
No. Okay.
Nope.
You
Oh, there. Okay. We kind of heard you.
yeah, I was just wondering his best globe proof or anything that makes him think that it's a globe. Any evidence? What's like what? If I walked you up on the street, said, "What's your?"
You cut out again. What's your proof? I think that's what he was getting at, maybe.
Yeah, but I think that the person...
if I
yeah. So the person, if I understood you correctly, if you ask me what would be my best proof of the globe as an...
Yeah, we're face to face. I ask you, what's globe proof that it's a globe?
No, I wouldn't prove anything, because like to prove something you have to, at least for yourself, you have to believe that it's true. So then you can have some proofs. So for example, if I was sure that the Earth is globe, I would find some proofs. But what I'm saying is that I see something that, I don't know if there is a word like disproof, like something that breaks the proof. I don't know how to say that. So it's not like I wouldn't be able to defend the globe Earth theory without believing in it.
Why are governments teaching this in schools when I ask people for globe proof and apparently there is none? So it's weird that a government would teach this, yet nobody has any evidence.
I don't know. I'm not a government, so I don't know.
Well, maybe let's
no, it's common sense. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, but
So
you
like,
see,
why is the government teaching something that there's no evidence?
You see what I try and how I try to understand that if something is not correct, that means that the other thing is correct only if there is just two possibilities. But for example, if you ask me like my age and you say you're 20 years old and I say no, that means that you're 40. Well, no, because I can have like 20, 40, 30 and 50 and so on. So there is a plenty of possibilities. So that's kind of the same thing about the Earth for me. So if it's not globe, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's flat. If it's not flat, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's globe. So that's why I don't want to go into like some specific, how to say, like either it's one or another, because why would I go there?
No, I was just asking you why an authority would teach you something, yet when you leave the school, so like why would the government teach you that it's a globe, and then you come here and you have no globe proof, but billions of people believe it's a globe?
You're asking my opinion, yes? Or you're asking like some explanation?
Why is government teaching that people come on Discord and they have no proof for?
Okay, so I might suggest because that's convenient for the government. That's all. Like,
is it right or wrong for the government to teach something that is unproven?
from the point of view of the government, it's probably good because they're doing that, and from the point of view of someone who would be interested to know the truth, it's bad, and from the point of view of someone who doesn't care, like it's neutral.
All right. Do you believe truth is objective or subjective?
I don't want to believe in that. Like, it's like, do I believe that the truth is subjective or objective? That means what kind of truth you're trying to explain. Because when you say the words like good or bad, that's not the truth. That's how some experience it. Because something might be good for you and something might be bad for me. But when we say that like the green apple is green, yes, that kind of truth should be objective. Oh, yes. And also, for example...
no, overall is...
Overall, yes.
You cut out again, Northern. Overall what?
Yes, overall is truth objective or subjective?
I don't know if you did hear my answer to that. I can't answer that differently. Like when you say about some fact, it should be objective. If you're talking about something that some people might perceive differently, it would be subjective. So when you're saying that something is like the shape of the Earth, it should be objective. It shouldn't be subjective, for example.
It is.
Yeah,
it should be the same. Doesn't matter what we think about it.
Believe in subject.
Okay.
Was that Witsit?
Yeah.
Hey, Witsit. How are you? We're doing Precious Metal Takeover again right now. You seem to come in at the same time. Yeah, so...
my bad.
Sorry.
Welcome, Witsit.
Yeah, good to see you, though. Okay, sorry, guys, continue. Sunny, were you going to say something?
Yeah, somebody can take him to the flat.
I was going to say...
or wherever you want to take him. I just wanted to see why the government's teaching something that no...
Yeah, I get it. And I just don't know if he's grasping it. Anyways, yeah, sorry. Go, Sunny.
Yeah, Northern, I heard what you said about that. I just want to make a joke first. Witsit just comes in to show all his decorations. I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just going to ask this person, Imreal, I was listening to what you said in the very beginning, and I just need to ask a simple question. Do you think Earth is an object?
Do I think if the Earth is an object?
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of feel that it wouldn't be simple to... Well, I would say yes, because I have something in my mind that I mean by the word object, but probably that might be not the same thing that you mean when you say object, because I don't know, maybe object is a different thing in my language and in your language. Well, it is a thing. is a scene and an object is the same scene, because maybe there is some like small details that would make it different. Like the Earth is a scene that you can touch, that you can be on.
So actually, that's actually the very point why I asked the question, because if you think of Earth as an object or a specific shape, then there's a problem there. And that's why you would be stuck in an endless loop, because no one's ever found the extents of this realm. I believe that's what it is a realm. It's not a shape, an object. It's not something that somebody has ever measured.
Okay, so you see, the problem is for me when you say realm, scene, object, and other things, I just don't get the slight differences that you mean by these words, because like
listen, because an object would have a shape. If it was just an object, then it would definitely have a shape.
So
Sonny, can I say something about that, Sonny? Because you're absolutely right, and that's a thing that a lot of people have a hard time grasping. Sorry to interrupt, but Sonny's absolutely right. An object knows that you have an understanding of the entire construct of what the subject is, and in fact, though, like even if I picked up a handful of sand or rocks, that's actually not an object either, because I don't even know how many sand grains I have in my hand, right? So an object is something that is definite, right? It's a definite thing. It's here. It's like an orange. That's an object. A skull. That's an object. A car, right? But that's as far as it goes. The Earth is not like that, because we can't even comprehend its size. And that's why Sonny is so correct about that. When people want to make the Earth into an object, they're taking away from God's Earth. Obviously, they're trying to say that you can understand God's creation, and that's why it's a real big problem. Thanks, Sonny.
Oh yeah, then in that definition, I would say yes, the Earth is not an object. Yes, if I use that definition.
So see, that's the thing. If I ask somebody if they believe or they think the Earth is some kind of object, implying a shape, then they have a presupposition already as to what it is from the very beginning. So we can just take what we see right here on the surface, and what we see on the surface is water is always flat and horizontal at the top. This is irrefutable. No one questions the nature of water. It does this always, just like the gas laws do their thing. They always do it. They always do the same thing. Water always takes on the shape of the bottom of the container it's in. On the top level, in this reality, water is always flat, level, horizontal on the top. So 71% of this place, they say, is water. So their 71% is all flat, horizontal. As in the direction that all ships travel, all aircraft travel, horizontally. So we got 71% of the Earth now is taken care of. It's flat. So now we have 29% left. Okay, so out of that, let's just round it up to 30, So we have, out of that, we have 1/3 of the remaining third is are plains. In other words, flat, plain areas where they're measurably flat with very little rise or drop. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. So right, I partially...
Okay, wait. Because I know it seems kind of long, but I'm on a premise.
I'll make it.
I'm on a step-by-step premise, so I'll be done soon. So we only have 20% left then. That all of Earth's radius, curvature, needs to fit into 20%. Doesn't that seem very odd to you that they're saying it's this size, it has this much curvature, we find none over water, so now they only have 20% left that they have to fit all of the curvature in. So see, that's what we see here is a flat plane, not in motion. These are all things that are objective to us, to our senses, even to instrumentation that we have these days. So people should stop using sticks and stones, a well shadow, like going in a well, or shadows from sticks. We have like high-speed interferometers. Do people know? It's funny. It's like I feel a lot of times in here, and I'll shut up. soon. But if I feel like I'm talking with a bunch of kindergartners or first graders that don't understand how ridiculous that is in 2021 as adults, supposedly educated people are using sticks and shadows from 2200 years ago. Anyway, I'll stop. So that's my little 2 cents.
Okay, so that was like the thing that you said. That would be a good example of me explaining why something I agree and something I disagree with. Because I do agree with things that when you defined it, the word object, I would agree with that, because like that's also what I believe, that we cannot, like, at this point we didn't understood the full structure of the Earth. Like probably it might be impossible to understand. That's why, yes, with your definition I would agree that the Earth is not an object. The next thing that I do agree with you is that like all that we can check, verify, and see so far, it's flat. Yes, that I do agree with. And everything that like we see, like the water and stuff, and if it's the water and the water have some properties, like in my flat, it should have the same properties in your flat, in the ocean, all around the world. So that we agree on. Something I don't agree with, it's when you said like 71% of the of the surface is water, because 71% is from the globe Earth model. I don't think that these numbers are correct, because when I tried to verify it by myself, I tried to calculate the surface of the known Earth, and I tried to divide the surface of the summary of the continents by the all, and it doesn't go like 70. So it's just, I wouldn't agree with that number, but I do agree that yes, it's a big part of the Earth is
right.
That's called hostile witness.
That's a really that's a good
against them.
I'm sorry, that's a good point though. Like I agree with you. I only use that percentage because that's their model. So even in their model, a lot of times I'll point things out assuming their model, and then let's just go see if what they're saying in this model is working out. And so I'm not saying, I think there's a lot more water, probably even more land. So there's a lot of things we don't know.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Only one thing that I'm still like, because I'm here like actively for a few days, I'm trying to listen, to communicate, to understand. One thing that I find difficult for me is the level thing, because once again that might be something that I don't understand because of the language. So when you say level, it's obviously flat, but it also should be horizontal. And when you say flat, it might be level, but it might be like in vertical flat, like a wall flat or something like this. So when you say level, it means that it's horizontal.
Horizontal, correct, yes.
Okay. So that one of the things that when I said that I don't agree with everything about the flat Earth, like I do agree that it's relatively flat. Like, I mean, the things that you said about, like, there are some mountains, but the most of the land is plains, and yeah, there are some hills. So, but that's why I think that yes, it's relatively flat. But when you think about the ocean, when you say it's level, it means when I'm standing on the bank of the sea, and there is on the coast of the sea, and you're like, I'm in Europe, for example, and you're in USA, and you're standing at the same coast, like of another sea, but it's still the same big ocean. We should be at the same level. That's what it means.
We're
like
basically at the same level, but you have tides. You have pitch over water, which is the pitch and fetch, is what happens to water with wind blowing over it for a certain amount of distance, does things to the water surface. So it pushes it up. It pushes it up. It makes it bulge up over like underwater obstructions as it's moving. Like people do not understand how water works at all. On this place we're in, there's all kinds of things going. It's a very dynamic system. The water isn't just sitting still flat.
Yes, tides, exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah. So water bulges up because of wind and waves, tides, whether they're going in or out. You know, the fluctuation of the tides. There's all kinds of things going on. So To say that you're at exactly the same level, yes, fundamentally you're at the surface. Like if you took out all the highs and lows over an average and went over it, that would be a completely horizontal plane.
Yeah.
So but anyway, but here's the point I was going to make, because, and then I'll stop because I start into this and I talk a lot. But if you're standing on a shore, let's say I'm standing on a shore here in the West Coast of California, and somebody is in, let's say, Japan, and they're standing on the coast in Japan. If I point my finger at the direction exactly where Japan is, and I'm pointing out using a compass, and the person in Japan is pointing their finger out exactly eastward towards me, pointing directly to where I am, we would both be pointing our arms horizontally, just like the oceans are. That's why compasses work, because they're floating in a level. They're floating in liquid that mimics sea level. That's why we level buildings' floors with a level. Everything is based on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, except I'm not sure if I didn't understand you correctly, but I don't think that what you said, I will just repeat in my words, and then you said if I understood you correctly. So you're staying at some point in USA, and there is someone across the ocean who is standing in Japan, and he is like on it would be on the west from you.
Yes,
Yeah.
further west from me. Yeah, they would be standing on the east coast, looking east towards. They would be looking east towards the Pacific Ocean. I would be looking west across the same ocean.
So what I think, if you will point like with your fingers, it means like if you draw a straight line, like will be like prolonging your finger. I don't know how to say, like the so you will. Yes, the extension. Yes, thank you. So you will hit that person. And what I think that when you use a compass, it, for example, the compass will show you the north, like it will lead you to the center. And when it'll show you the west, like if you will try to follow west, you wouldn't go in the straight line. You would have to make a circle. Like, because every time the west will be kind of a bit different, because the west is just like the 90 degree from the north, and north is also changing.
That is true. That those lines are concentric. They would be considered like concentric. So what I'm saying is, you're on a solid piece of land. That's not moving. Another solid piece of land. If you're just basically pointing to each other across the ocean.
Yes.
So you're going to be pointing in a horizontal plane. So nobody points down to China and says, when you ask somebody where China is, they'll say, okay, they'll look at the direction. So it's what, east or something? Or south. They'll point out with your arms. It's just the natural thing, because we're here on this place. This is what it is. Anyway, anyone else can join in. But thanks for the conversation.
No.
I think he's in the right place if he doesn't believe in a model.
Why do some people try to assert that it's flat here in this area, it's level here in this area, but it's curved elsewhere?
Well, the globe Earth model describes the Earth as an oblate spheroid. So not a perfect sphere, but it's like oblate. So it's not, again, it's not perfect like we see in the pictures, right? In the blue marble, you see how it's beautiful and, just fully round, 360 degrees. They think that it's not perfectly round. They think it's oblate. So some parts going to be flat. It's like, if you picture a hexagon, but, no, not a hexagon, but let's say you think of a shape with a lot of flat and then a few curved and a few flat. That's what they think it is, I guess.
It's odd though.
Well, there is no flat surfaces on a
for so long they knew
object.
it was this perfect ball,
and there is no detectable curvature anywhere.
Hello?
Yeah, you guys are over talking each other one at a time, please.
Sorry.
Gregory,
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing how for so long they knew it was this perfect marble, perfect ball, and just recently they decided it's an oblate spheroid. It's kind of pear-shaped. They've changed their mind, but they were so sure for so long.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's just an ad hoc solution to all the lack of curvature that we observe. And the first point I was saying was there is no flat surfaces on an oblate object. It's just not. It's not a property that's on an oblate spheroid object. And then, secondly, you don't detect any curvature anywhere. So that appeal is meritless and vacuous.
Not just that, but not just that, but spherical trigonometry dictates there's got to be curvature in all directions, not just front to back.
This is also true.
Yeah, exactly. Like pear or globe, there'd be curvature no matter what on either one of those ideas.
Well, the idea of the oblate spheroid and the differences they're speaking about when you get up to the sizes that they're talking about wouldn't it wouldn't make itself apparent to the naked eye. But he's right, there is no flat spots on a spheroid. That's the property of a spheroid.
Right, oblate, spheroid, geoid, whether it be oblate or not oblate, there are no flat surfaces on a spheroid or a geoid, whichever term you want to use. They love to hop back and forth between the terms, so that's why I just say all the terms in the sentence so I cover all the bases before they keep switching the goalpost.
This between spheroid, asteroid, all that, they might as well just tell us we're living on a hemorrhoid.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear shape.
That could be coming.
All right. On that note,
that could be coming soon to a theater near you.
and Riel, is that how you say? Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say that the spheroid's a good way to get people to beg the question of the sphere. You know, when he says it's pear-shaped, he's still implying a shape. So he's putting a shape, you know, in the mind. So people are equating that with their reality. And then he'll turn around and say that the differences, you know, are so small that if you were big enough to actually hold it, you wouldn't be able to discern the difference. So, you know, he's locked you into a paradigm by getting you to imagine you're on the ball.
Paradox.
When he says that.
An unsubstantiated, unmerited paradox.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
So, do you have any other questions?
If the flat surfaces are that negligible from the most macroscopic perspective when trying to observe the entirety of this object, you know, you can't just say that. You have to substantiate that. And then it's a paradox once again, because there are no flat surfaces. There is no flatness on a spheroid. You can't have it both ways.
What I mean though is they're trying to get you to argue about differential curvature instead of you know, the fact that we measure it flat.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a trick, mental trick.
Yeah, it's rhetoric.
Pretty much.
It's a rhetorical tactic. That's right.
So, Amriel, I think that's how you say your name. Did you have any other questions for us?
No, that's fine. It's just like, for example, when you say why some people would believe that in some areas Earth, like the surface is flat and not in another one, I like to think about this like, imagine a sphere that was cut into parts, and you just like the bottom part of the sphere is like the surface of the bottom part is the surface we're living in. And the upper part is just like the sky, the like the air and all the stuff. So it's like it might be like that, and it will work exactly the same way. But like the thing is that you don't know what is on the bottom of this like part. So that's why some people. I wouldn't say that it is But I would say that it might be, yeah.
Well, whether you hold to the certain position or to the almost certain position, it's still an unjustified position to maintain because there's no substantiation for such a position. And then, particularly regarding the absence of any evidence of curvature, you can't maintain that you live on a spheroid, geoid, oblate spheroid, geoid that has some flat areas on it, but it's still curved elsewhere when you haven't substantiated the existence of curvature. So to still assert that position is just unsubstantiated and meritless and unjustified still.
No, what I mean, yes, you can't say that it is this way if you are not able to measure it, to see it, to observe it. You can't claim that, yes, it's just like that. But you have to say that, yeah, it might be like that or it might be not like that. When you can't see something, you can't measure it, you can't prove it, you shouldn't assume it just like because you want it to be.
Yes, but a question of an assertion of uncertainty versus an assertion of certainty and substantiated certainty is superior to an uncertain, unsubstantiated claim. So the certain substantiated claim takes precedence and is justified in being believed.
Okay, I will have another hour to understand what your question or what your sentence meant.
I'm sorry to waterboard you with all these I'm sorry to waterboard you with all these $5 words. It's just these terms are necessary when talking about such subject matters. So basically, to help you understand what I mean, go ahead.
Basically, it's curving outside of perception for them, is what they're implying. And it's where you can't see is where it's curving.
Right. And to put it short, so what I was saying, to clarify what I was saying that the uncertain, unsubstantiated position is inferior and thus unjustified to be believed versus the certain substantiated position, which is justified in being believed.
Okay, so he has to go. So I guess we'll move on to see if there's anybody else that has any questions. Pentel Hamster, you're lighting up, but you're not speaking. Are you there? You're just VC verified.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know why I'm lighting up because my mic's muted. So.
Oh, okay. Well, do you?
I was just listening.
Are you new to the server? I guess.
No, I've been in here before.
Okay, so what shape do you think the Earth is?
I have no idea. I just listen to everyone's opinions.
Okay, so do you have any questions specifically if you've been listening for a while?
No, not right now. I mean, I just like to listen to what everyone has to say.
Have you been walked through the 3 points, or are you on the fence as to whether it's a globe or flat, or?
So like I don't really know either way. I mean, like I feel like the only way to know for sure is if you go above whatever it is we're living on and take a look at what it is. I don't think anyone knows for sure. I mean, globe earthers, just tend to believe whatever NASA tells them, and then flat earthers just kind of believe whatever they can like disprove, So it's kind of like I'm just kind of in the middle. It doesn't really matter either way, unless if I can see for myself.
It kind of perplexes me to hear someone say they have no idea what the shape of the Earth is. Because correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
And how long have you been?
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're not inebriated, right?
Hey, hang on, flat man.
No, I'm not inebriated.
Your brain isn't damaged.
I don't drink at all. I haven't drank since I was like 19. I'm 27 now, so I never drink. I don't do anything. Yeah.
Your brain isn't damaged, correct?
No, I have no brain damage.
Your eyes aren't damaged, correct?
No, nothing's damaged.
Because these things will alter someone's perception of what the shape of the Earth is. So that's why I'm genuinely asking these questions.
I mean, it's so big that how could I just take a look around me and know exactly what shape it is? That just kind of seems like insane to think that. I mean, if you're in a room, right, on a ship, I mean, you can't just know what your ship looks like if you're in a fucking room of a ship if you've never seen the outside of it before, right?
So I think you're misinterpreting the semantic scope of what someone means when they say the Earth is level. Regardless of the entirety of the shape of the object that we walk upon, the face or the surface of the thing that we walk upon is not curving. It's a level. That's what is meant.
Yeah, but that's what I said, that you guys only believe in what you can disprove. You can disprove that the world is a globe, so that means that you just think that it's not a globe, it's flat.
No,
It's like assuming. Can you prove that it's flat?
Listen, it's their responsibility to show that it's a globe. That's not on us. That's their burden of proof. But we can show what the surface is like, and it doesn't match anything of what the numbers we were given. We actually go out and physically look at this, observe, and measure the surface, and it's not measuring flat in any direction.
And secondly, to that, I don't know why people
it is measuring flat. I'm sorry, did I misspeak?
You said it correctly.
It's measuring. It's observably and measurably, repeatably measures flat in all directions.
Right. It's measurably and observably level, not curving. And secondly, to what Sonny said, is I don't know why people don't know this. I think this is a symptom of, this trauma-based mind control that everyone is subjected to in the dumbing down of society. But an object, it's regarding its physical properties, can only have one of two things. Either the object is curving, and if not, then it's level. That's all you got. Either it curves or it doesn't. If it doesn't, then it's level. So if we don't detect curvature regarding the shape of the Earth, then the only option we have left is that it's level. And we see that and we can measure that. So we don't just believe the Earth is level unsubstantiatedly. We believe the Earth is level because of the absence of curvature.
I mean, like when they have like this whole.
The observable and measurable absence of curvature is the evidence that substantiates our position that the Earth is not curving; it is level.
Yep.
AKA colloquially flat.
So therefore, what we have here is definitely not opinions. Now, we all are human. We all have opinions. But here in this forum, we're not dealing with opinions at all. Has nothing to do with what I think about it, what you think about it, or what anybody thinks about it. Geometry is geometry. Something is either curved and shows a curve, presents itself as being curved, or it's not. When there are thousands of laser tests and observations, thousands and thousands is piling up now, it's insurmountable amount of places that we show, like every observation is showing flat. So all we're asking is, where's the proof that it's a globe?
Yeah,
we're just saying, bring us the proof.
So
we need one little bit of proof.
So have you guys looked into like space tourism at all?
Where are they supposed to be going, brother?
I'm just saying, like, whenever they come out with space tourism and you can actually just get on a plane and fly up to space yourself, would you do it to see?
Well, listen. Hold on. Listen. Wait. Listen. This goes back to the fundamental thing I was talking about in the first place. With a measurement of curvature, yeah, maybe. I need the curvature measurement first. I need the measurement of curvature first, because they can't go there. They can't go to
you wouldn't get on. So if you got a free ticket to like, oh hey, like I'm a member of the Flat Earth whatever committee.
Hey, whoa. Hey, you guys, calm down. Okay, let Hamster just keeps.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're a part of some sort of like Flat Earth group, right? And like Virgin Galactic is like, hey, we're gonna give you guys free tickets so you can come up into space and see the Earth yourselves and see what you think about it. It's not
Can I
like we're
answer
trying to
that?
sway you one way or
Can
the
I
other.
please
Would you
answer
do it?
that? Can I please answer that? Anyone but
I want to answer it after Sunny. I want to
anyone
answer it
but
after
Virgin.
Sunny.
He's already taken out about 5 guys, telling him he's gonna take them there. So anyone but Virgin, I'm on board.
No, listen, I wouldn't go on a Freemason rocket if they paid me $1 million. No.
These are just
Okay.
all
Especially-
hypotheticals, right? So let's talk about the things that we can do today and go from there. I know, Gregory, you wanted to say something. Go for it.
Yes. The problem with that response is that you reference this supposed industry with the assumption that the thing that they're supposedly traveling to and inside of actually exists. But if that place that the supposedly exists really doesn't exist, then the supposition that they're going there is moot and vacuous and not true.
Or where would you be flying to then?
How far do you think they fly up? Hold on.
Where do you think you would be flying to then?
Hold on. I'm asking you a question. How far do you think they fly up?
What do you mean? How far? Like
how high? How high?
How high are they flying up? I don't know. I have no idea the distance.
They're only traveling about 50 to 55 miles.
55 miles up in the air. Have you ever walked a mile? Have you ever been in a plane?
You know how high is 55 miles? I mean, that's just from like if you live in Florida.
Out of
that's like from that's like from Miami to Boynton Beach. Dude, that's not even high enough, bro. Outer space. Outer space.
55 miles up.
Go look it up. That's how far Virgin Galactic went.
The Earth is
So the superior point is that they're not flying in a
what they call vacuum.
Yeah, the superior point is that they're not flying in a vacuum. Okay, they're not flying in a vacuum. Airplanes can't fly in a vacuum. That's why they're called airplanes. Airplanes can't fly in a vacuum, and the vacuum of outer space is not a real thing. It's just a fictitious area in their cosmological belief system.
Well, I mean, so I looked it up. So Virgin Galactic, yeah, you're right. They only went up 50 something miles per hour, or 50 miles up into the air, right?
Yep.
So and like, what if you had the option to go even further out? Would you take it? Like, if there was like some sort of space tourism
that's
to
an
go
appeal
out?
to fantasy.
It's not an appeal to fantasy. I mean, it's just like
yes, it is. It's a hypothetical. That's not something I can literally go up and do right now and today. So let's talk about things that we
let's
can
talk about
actually
something you can do today then. So, and why don't you guys
you keep
get
bringing
a
it
boat?
up. So
Why don't you guys get a boat and go over to Antarctica?
This is what we can do. This is what we can do. It's measure the Earth.
Did he say go? I'm sorry.
Like get on a boat.
Take a boat to Antarctica. We'll pick at that. Yeah, we'll pick at that one. Don't worry.
He said go over Antarctica, so we're going to sail across solid ice.
Yeah. Boats are not a measuring tool. Thanks.
No, it's not about measuring. I'm just saying going to see whatever. Like, what do you guys believe is past Antarctica if the world is flat?
Dude, where's the measurement of curvature? Water is always flat and horizontal.
I'm not saying that the world is a globe or flat either way. I don't have to prove globe Earth because I don't care either way. Like, I'm just saying that, like, if you guys fully believe in flat Earth, then what is past Antarctica?
I don't believe in flat Earth.
Okay, if you fully know that the Earth is flat, then what is past Antarctica?
No one's ever been there, and you can't go there.
Question, but it's not
that's the same. That's the same point that I'm making. Is that none of you have been in outer space. So how would you be able to look back down at Earth and know?
Listen, hamster. Can you show us gas pressure without a container?
Gas pressure without a container. Yeah. Like you just keep going down this route of trying to.
No, I'm not. Hold up. You're invoking space. So now you're going to have to prove it. Yes, you're invoking the vacuum of space.
Okay, so
we have gas pressure here. Hold on. We have gas pressure here, right?
Yeah.
Gas pressure requires a container unless you're going to counter what I just said about gas pressure, you're going to need to show a practical demonstration in reality that gas pressure can be held with no container next to a vacuum.
So what
Before
do you
you
believe
answer
is
that,
above the
problem.
gas pressure in Earth?
No,
though?
I don't
Like, what is
believe
up
it.
there?
It's the gas laws. It's you heard the first and
Okay, let
second
me
laws of
rephrase
thermodynamics.
my question without the trigger word of believe then.
Contain
What do you
Yeah, that bothers me
know?
too, Hamster.
What do you know is above Earth, if not a vacuum, or if it's
is
not whatever you
A
think
antecedent
it is?
for gas pressure.
container.
What is the container?
We have
What
absolute
is
proof of a container because we have gas pressure.
Okay, what
what
is the
is it?
With
container?
gradient.
I don't know. I don't know what it's made of. You want me to describe it? I have no idea how to describe it because we haven't seen it. But you
No
know
one's
it is that.
been there either.
But
No one's
it is
been
that.
to the extremes of it. No one's
It
been
is,
to the extremes of it.
holy shit!
If they have,
Oh
they have
shit!
not. Okay.
Hey
so,
guys,
wow.
okay,
Yeah,
let's
But it is.
one
But
at
it
a
is.
time. No, one at a time. Who was that?
I was.
Elbow
May I
was
say
talking
something?
about? Yeah,
Me,
yeah, go
Gregory,
for
may
it.
I say something?
Oh my god!
What I was going to say to
I was in the
Hamster is
middle.
that the
I was in
problem.
the middle of what I was trying to say.
Yeah, Elbow, go for it.
Okay, then I'll go
Yeah,
ahead.
I said I couldn't describe it, but it is the antecedent to gas pressure. You need a container to have gas pressure. And then Sunny
Okay.
was up.
So your guys' point is that there's nothing that can contain the gas pressure of Earth's atmosphere other than a container. Yes.
Well, yeah,
what
that's
you
why
said.
he asked you to prove gas pressure without containment, because you made the claim that you want to go to space in an airplane, blah, 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 right? And then you start talking about Antarctica. So we're bringing it back to the gas pressure. So you need to prove then that you can have gas pressure without a container.
Well, I don't have to prove one or the other because I already told you I don't really believe one way or the other. So it's like I don't.
Okay.
Like,
trying to
Okay,
invoke
so here's the
space.
problem.
Then stop trying to invoke space.
Yes.
Simple.
So
invoke
here's the
space.
problem. Your
Okay, so
argument,
but you
your
guys are invoking
argumentation.
a container that you don't even know about other than
No,
Because the
dude,
natural the natural antecedent to gas pressure is you need containment. So if you're making a claim that you can have gas pressure within the atmosphere without containment, saying that you can go to space, you're making that positive claim, so you need to provide evidence and proof for that claim. Do you understand? This is why we're going through this. This is the whole trajectory of where we're at right now. So you can't invoke space if you cannot prove gas pressure without containment.
And we could
May
prove
I
it
say
to
this
you.
to Hamster?
We could okay, go ahead.
The problem with Hamster's argumentation is that you're taking this convoluted, double-speaking position where you don't believe, and thus you're not really making an argument, but then you make a counter-argument against what we believe. So you have to make up your mind.
Right.
No, I'm not making an argument. I'm just asking questions, right?
So
it's not an argument.
No, you haven't merely asked questions. You've made counter-arguments. I think you may have been doing this accidentally, but I just want to clarify that.
No, it's more
So
like
Hamster-
asking questions, really.
So Hamster,
Like what it is you believe. I mean,
so Hamster, we could prove this for you. Can you look up the definition for gas pressure?
yeah, I can look it up here. I'll Google it right now. Gas pressure. Let's see. Okay.
Let's look for gas pressure definition.
The sum of the forces of all the molecules striking the wall divided by the area of the wall is defined to be the pressure.
What does it have to strike? So what does it have to strike? Right. So without a wall, you can't have gas pressure.
So two things. This idea that we live on a oblate spheroid, geoid, in the midst of a vacuum is incoherent in the model.
Literally.
And secondly, there is no observable, sensible evidence of the existence of such a thing. So it doesn't work in their model, neither is it correspondent to reality. It's nonsense.
I just had a thought, and it's a funny thought. Can you imagine what the bacteria and all that in your body are thinking? You know, wait, do we live in a body? No one believes that we live in a body. But what if we did live in a body? We don't live in a body. Then they find out they live in a body.
I think I got what you meant.
I didn't understand.
That's how we are. That's how we are. So I'm just saying.
I think you're critiquing the
Well, so
policy of having this self-contradictory, double-speaking position. Yes, that is erroneous.
So how do globe earthers? I mean, I know that it's basically just chalked up to gravity, right? That's how they say that we're able to have an atmosphere
The
around a
reification
globe
fallacy.
without.
Yeah, we're not even off. We're not even off of gas pressure yet, though. So there's about
No, but I
5
mean,
more.
like what is it that the scientists say for sure that makes it to where we can have gas pressure without a container? Because you guys are saying that we have a container for sure because that's the only way you can have gas pressure. So what are like NASA scientists saying that like how do we have gas pressure without a container?
So
What
it's
is their
twofold.
argument?
Matter of fact, if you look at
It's
NASA,
both gravity, Einstein's gravity, and now this kind of new but just rebranded old doctrine. It's both Einstein's gravity and dark matter.
Honestly, what they do is they use Newtonian when it's convenient. They'll switch to Einstein when it's convenient. They'll switch back and forth. They're using this hybrid thing that's made basically it's made up. And then when they get caught on one little thing, they switch to another part of the doctrine. Like because it's been around long enough that they know what little part of it they need to flip to next. Like it's been fully orchestrated.
But it's funny. But it's funny though.
Rhetorical sophistry.
But it's funny though, because if you go look up gas pressure and you look NASA, Google that, they'll actually tell you that gas pressure needs a containment.
Yep. Right
It's really hilarious.
It's in the voice text.
Oh, you put it on there? Good, sweet.
Voice text right now. Yeah. So yep.
You can find 1,001 holes, incoherencies in this model. It doesn't even work within itself, which is why they have to invoke such fantastical ad hoc solutions to these incoherencies in their model, which is all indicative of it not being real.
Yeah. So I don't want the whole concept or it's not a concept. The actual thing about the gas laws, this case of entropy. Those laws of thermodynamics, things like that, with gases, even fluid dynamics, these are such fundamental, foundational things that are proven over and over and over again that it's considered an axiom. It's not even questioned anymore. No one in all of history has ever been able to provide any violation of these laws. It has never been done. It has never been known to man ever that those could be violated.
Lest a miracle occur.
So, hamster, there you go. That's not me saying that. That's all of your scientists saying that.
Yeah, I heard you. But I mean, like, so basically we have a container around Earth. So then what is keeping, I mean, like, you're saying that they can't prove, basically, like, their model of the Earth is wrong because the atmosphere can't be contained without a container. So gravity is basically just made up. But what is gravity then? Like, what? Or like, if gravity's not real, what is pulling everything?
It's a one-word explanation. It's a one-word explanation. It's like a magic get-out-of-jail-free card word that they just throw in to try to say what the cause is. They've never defined what the cause is. They only have an effect. We only have an effect of things that are more dense going downward and things less dense going upward. That totally defies gravity. Things going up that have mass.
They haven't scientifically validated gravity, so it's just a colloquial theory, not a scientific theory.
What do you guys know?
The reason things go up and down is based on their relative density.
So you're saying that what keeps us down on the ground is density?
You're more dense than the medium you're in. Yeah. But if you go in a swimming pool, you'll float because then you are now less dense than the medium you're in. Also, if you pick up an object and then you drop it, it's going to fall to the ground as well because you've just removed it from its equilibrium. You've applied a force to it, just kind of like a door. Like I was thinking about this today. A door opens and then swings shut because you've applied a force to it.
What are the odds you said that after I just opened my door and closed it?
Oh, really?
That's amazing.
But it's not gravity's not the reason that the door is shutting, because this is now something that's like, it's not going up and down, it's going side to side. It's shutting because you've applied a force to it, and objects want to seek their equilibrium. But the reason things go down is because they're currently more dense than the medium mirror.
So watch this.
You see this down vector? Sorry. Go ahead.
Hamster, if Hamster is still listening.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hamster, watch you get intellectual diarrhea, okay? The Globers will tell you simultaneously, either in the same breath or in two subsequent breaths, that the curvature of space-time, Einstein's gravity, general and special relativity, is gravity, which causes the downward acceleration of things towards the center of mass, right, the center of the Earth. But in the very next breath of the same breath, they will say that the downward acceleration is gravity. So which one is it? Is the curvature of space-time gravity, or is the downward acceleration of things towards the center of mass gravity? Which one is it?
Yeah,
but when you talk to them, they'll switch back and forth on a dime on you when you refute one or the other. It's like intellectual whack-a-mole.
Like what it gravity is? Theory, you don't have.
I mean, that's why my opinion is neither one way or the other, because I don't think that humans can prove gravity, and I also don't think that they can prove what actually we are on, other than like just actually seeing for yourself.
Other than just the surface itself shows that we see thousands of times further.
Well, the problem is that you keep maintaining this position of incredulity against the evidence that is observable and presented to you, which is unjustified.
And stationary, not curving.
And know exactly what we're in. We can't. I don't think we.
Yeah, let me ask Hamster as well. Hamster, do you think of Earth as an object?
And even if somebody had a book, I don't think we'd understand.
Good job, Sonny.
Well, I mean, like, what do you mean by object? Like, just something that is like.
Do you think that Earth is an object that has a like defined shape, like in your mind? What do you think of Earth as? Is it
What
an
do I think of
object
Earth
thing?
as?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just whatever I see around me, I guess.
Do you think of a shape?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
Do you agree that the surface we walk upon is a level plane, not a curving object?
I mean, I have no idea. Like, it's so big that I can't really.
It's not that big. It's not that big. All you got to do is just dig your fingers just slightly into what they say in the curve or the Earth curve calculators. Get into that little formula because it's just geometry. It's really not that difficult. You know what? You can even
do your research and you observe around the world, and you don't observe curvature either convex or concave, then what do you see? You see a level, non-curving plane, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, like, you can't see forever in any direction. I mean, it's like
no, but see, here's what I mean though. If you don't know what this formula thing is, so in 5 miles there should be 16 feet of drop. 10 miles is 66 feet. You know, so that's a defined size geometry. It requires a certain amount of drop over that distance. That cannot be something that would vary at all. So if you look at things that are actually on the water or close to the water, such as lighthouses, and also radio beacons. You familiar with like radio beacons? This is how navigators. Yeah, so I've used one before. You point this radio beacon in the direction of the beacon that's sounding, let's say, on a jetty near a harbor, and you're out at sea and you're coming in, and it's blanketed with fog with less than a quarter-mile visibility. You point that thing to where the beacon is, and you can point your ship directly towards the beacon. It shoots a horizontal radio beacon out horizontally across the water. So we've picked those up at 30 miles.
And you're saying that that's like way too far for the globe Earth to be true, right?
So, okay, well, here's the thing. I'll just go right to the Earth curve calculator.
And while he's doing that, regarding the retort that you said that, but I can't see the whole thing, the point still stands regardless of that. The point of we live on a level circular plane still stands regardless of the fact that we don't see the entirety of the object of which we walk upon.
I mean, like, you guys are just saying that because you can disprove the, like, this just goes back to what I was saying, is you can disprove the whole, like, curvature of the Earth by, like, what he's looking up right now, whereas you can see things further out
Wait a
than
minute.
what the globe
Wait a
model would
minute.
allow you to normally, right?
Wait a minute. No, here's the thing. You're missing the point. Is shooting a laser off the surface of a frozen lake and hitting a target at the same height? What is that? At known distances and heights.
Wait, say that again?
Shooting a laser across a frozen lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and them hitting their targets miles and miles away over frozen lakes. At both the laser and the target at the same height.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
what I'm saying
disproving.
is that you're
I'm not. No, I'm not. Wait, I'm not disproving. Like, I don't have to disprove anything. That is showing that it's a flat area. Completely, the surface is completely flat, measurably flat.
So to directly respond to what Hamster is saying, what you're missing is that when you disprove the supposed existence of curvature of the thing that we walk upon, that simultaneously proves that it's level. When you eliminate one option out of a absolute dichotomy, the only option that is left is the reality.
How do you know that it's an absolute dichotomy? What if it's just like the curve is way too big for you to measure because
Dude, I just told you. I just told you.
Did you hear what I just said?
I just told you a lighthouse at 20 or 30 miles, which is a short distance. They see lighthouses up to 150 miles.
No, I'm saying, like, what if we're on like a ball that's way too big, like the entire.
Then their whole thing is blown out of the water. Then that means the radius they gave us is 100. It's hundreds of thousands of times larger than they said, and it decreases and increases day by day, hour by hour. They have no model. But they told us what the size was. All we did is take that template they gave us and lay it out across on reality, and it didn't match. Do you see that? So I disagree with you.
I'm not even putting
Hamster.
points to be
Hamster, hold on.
Damn, son, you want to be concise?
No, Hamster. I just disagree with you. I don't know if you're being entirely honest that you don't think of Earth as some sort of shape. It seems to be stuck in your mind. You're just not letting on to it.
Some people are just confused. Some people are genuinely confused.
That's true. That's true. Either that,
you guys
or you truly don't know.
No, you guys are telling me that you don't know what's past Antarctica. So how do you know for sure that the entire Earth, whatever's past Antarctica, is also flat?
Have you been past the Antarctica?
What if the entire known Earth?
Okay, so Hamster, again, you're making. Okay, why don't we talk about things that we can substantiate these claims? Right, we can't go to Antarctica. We don't know. I can't validate any of that. I have a pretty good, theory of what's beyond the ice wall, but I can't go there to prove that. So I'm not going to make these claims. So let's get back to what we can measurably prove here.
Right. What I was going to say to you, Hamster, was that the problem with your response is that you're appealing to fantasy in order to counter-argue with what we're saying. You're appealing to a fantasy which is unsubstantiated to counter-argue against a position that is substantiated.
It's not
and to answer your question, what if it's bigger? That, like Sonny was saying, their whole system will break down because orbits of the moon couldn't happen. The sun, we will be what will pull the sun? I mean, the sun will have to be way bigger, way further than. I mean, the whole system, the whole model will break down completely.
Right. Not only that's true. Also, not only that, but again, it's still an appeal to fantasy. So even if that assertion was substantiated, it would still destroy their model. But we would, in this hypothetical, be on a spheroid or sphere object. But even before that, it's still an appeal to fantasy. That assertion is still not substantiated.
Yeah,
So it's madness and unsubstantiated all around.
You're using a lot of what ifs. What if? What if? Now let's go to what is. Right.
A common comedic response I say to people who ask what if questions, I say, "What if I was the Pope?" It's not that funny, but it still works. You know, I could just spout what ifs about any and everything. What if the price of tea in China was $75.94? It has no bearing on the veracity and the reality that we're trying to discuss.
I mean, I just think it does though, because I feel like if you don't know something, then like it's the same way you guys think about globe earthers. It's like if they don't know something and they can't prove it, then it's not real, which is the same thing I feel like both sides have, is that if you don't know what's past the Antarctic wall or ice wall, whatever's surrounding
Yeah,
us,
so
then
dude,
you don't
you're
know
being
what's
listen. No, you're being dishonest right now because you already told me directly that you didn't think Earth was a shape.
No, I don't. I'm just saying that I don't know one way or the other past
No,
Antarctica.
you do. No, you do. No.
You can't put words
Yeah,
into my head like that.
No, listen.
Sonny, don't do
Listen, I'm
that. Don't
telling
do
you,
that.
pretty substantially, that I would say that you're thinking that you're on a curved surface. Maybe you're unsure of it. Like, I'll give you that. Okay. So if you're just unsure of it, you don't really know. That's odd to me because you've lived on a flat Earth your entire life, just like the rest of us.
Hamster, are you
Let's just
familiar
bring
with the
it back to
term?
a fundamental level, real quick. You denied the dichotomy. So
I don't know how to post pictures in this channel.
isn't
You don't have
curving,
permissions.
what is
Okay. I was trying to show
Sorry.
you this is another thing that like I don't believe in this. I'm just saying this is
hold
another
on, Hamster. Just hold on. Creation Bear was in the middle of a sentence, so can you
Yeah,
let
go
him
ahead.
finish?
Let's just keep it fundamental, right? If something isn't curving, what is it?
I mean,
Hamster.
it could be anything. If it's not curving, it could be straight. It could be diagonally straight. I mean, like, what do you mean?
And that would mean it's not curving, and then it's flat, right? That's the dichotomy that you didn't understand about minutes ago.
It's a
If something's not straight, I mean, if something's not curving, then it must be flat. That's what you guys think.
Is it?
Flat,
Can you
colloquially, level,
demonstrate
right.
anything other than that?
I mean, I guess I
Can
can.
you show me an object that has the property other than being curved or flat?
No, I mean, there's things
when
that are
Gregory
flat
said
and
it the
there's things
first
that are
time,
curved. Yeah,
I
I
even
see what
sat
you're
here and thought
saying, but
about
I mean, it doesn't. What are you saying that proves?
Look, listen.
So,
when Gregory said it the first time, it hit me. I sat down and thought, well, if something isn't curving, I actually sat down and thought about it. So you maybe should sit down and think about that for a little bit.
Hamster, are you familiar with the term ad ignorantium?
No, I don't speak Latin.
It's funny. It's cool. You recognize it as Latin. Ad ignorantium, in other words, appeal to fallacy or argument from ignorance, means that you don't know or don't even have substantiation for the assertion, but you still assert it as true. It's not disproven. It can't be disproven. Therefore, it's true. So when
I'm
you
not
say, "What if
saying
it's
one way
this
or the other is
shape?"
true.
or "What if
That's
it's
like my position?"
right?"
Like
So
I
if you
think
say,
that scientists in NASA are just as like full of crap as anyone else, because I feel like no one truly knows. You can come up with all these experiments. Like NASA scientists have a ton of experiments and videos from space supposedly, but I mean, how do we know they're saying the truth? Just the way like anyone who's a YouTuber for like flat Earth is doing these experiments. How do I know that they're telling me the truth? I would have to do it myself to actually believe it.
Well, that's what I was telling
Yeah,
you.
that's perfect. That's exactly it. Very good. So when you're asking us what's on the other side, of Antarctica, right? How do I know? I can't go out there and validate those things, right? If I told you some fairy tale, I'd just be like NASA telling you, making some claim, right? So perfect. Okay, so you've got there at least. That's good.
so the problem still, that is the good first step. The problem still is that it is not justified to remain incredulous or skeptical or disbelieve the true statement that has been substantiated by evidence that has been asserted. That's not justified.
I see what you're saying. I can see that.
And it's a lot, right? It's a lot.
I would personally, I feel like the only way I could believe one way or the other is for me to 100%, like I would have to go to Antarctica, do some sort of expedition past whatever point they say it is. Or so, okay, what would prove what for me? So, like, if I got on a boat and sailed all the way around the Earth back to the same point, then I would be like, well, the Earth must be in some sort of shape to where you can go from one end all the way around back to the same point. So it must be the
Sounds like a
same
lot of work for
cylindrical or round in some way.
The thing is, you could do east to west circumnavigation. That's not a problem. Problem is north to south and back north again. That's where the issue comes in.
Nobody's ever done it.
No one's ever done that.
No one?
Ever.
North to south circumnavigation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another fun little fact is that no one has ever seen the South Celestial Pole, because no such thing exists.
You
Contrary
can
to
go
what some
from
may
the
assert.
north to the south. You can go from the north to the south and come back on the same way you went, but not another way.
There's Pan Am that says they did it, but they went up, down. I mean, they came from the north to the south, and then they just went back up again, but to the same direction. They just made a turn. They didn't go
They just turned around. They didn't go straight without turning around and come back to the north.
Yeah. So that's like going to the supermarket, do your shopping,
Oh
and
shit!
come
Sorry,
back.
I didn't realize I was on wasn't on mute.
Oh, we didn't hear you. You said something.
Oh, I thought my
you were talking. We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me, guys? Mic check.
Yeah,
you're good.
Thank you.
Another problem that some people have regarding believing sufficient, adequate evidence is that they only believe it when they have actively done the experiment or the research themselves, in spite of evidence being presented to them before they did it themselves. That's not justified, because you're just rejecting truth
believe stuff when it becomes mainstream, right?
before you're just rejecting truth for no good reason other than, well, I didn't do the experiment myself. Well, I didn't dig up this artifact with my hands. Well, I didn't touch the vials myself. Well, I didn't mix the chemicals myself, et cetera, et cetera. That's not a good reason to reject the truth that's been asserted.
I mean, but this is mostly what our point is, though. We don't want you to believe us. I mean, we want you to look up the information and actually do the experiments yourself. I mean, not the experiments, the observations and the tests.
I mean, that's not true. We do want you to believe us, but we want you to believe substantiated beliefs. We want you to believe truth.
Yeah, but I
want
just
you to
feel
seek the
like
truth for yourself.
when people take positions and try to get other people to believe what they believe, I mean, I just don't think that they're really.
That's definitely not what's happening here.
It's kind of comes on.
Challenging you to take a position, which you haven't really done yet.
Yeah. No one in here is trying to, grab your mind and force it into a mode that believes in what we're saying. What we're doing is telling you truth, and then we're defending our position with more truth, and then we're trying to help you and everyone else how to think and be aware of the truths that we're trying to share.
Right. It's facts over feelings for sure. And that will provide you with the facts that we've, can validate instead of making things up. And we're not going to lead you astray and tell you something that we can't validate.
Correct. Everyone in here is aware that the speaker cannot directly force or indirectly force. The speaker cannot force the listener to believe what is being said. The speaker can only communicate truth and leave it up to the speaker to believe what is being said. Did I say the speaker? I meant the listener. The listener to believe what is being said and seek the truth.
So, Hamster, is there any other questions or any other things you'd like to talk about? Because we have just over half an hour for Precious Metal Takeover.
What is that?
No, I mean, if anyone else can talk if they want to.
Oh, yeah, we're just doing it's Precious Metal Takeover, so golds and silvers take over the
Okay.
live stream and answer the questions.
Oh, that's cute.
One thing I'm curious about is some people talk about how, on a flat Earth, satellites have to be like complete lies. Well, what are all those like satellite technicians or whatever when they go to like install stuff on your house or whatever for cable or internet or whatever, and they
Yeah. What proof do you have? What proof do you have that they're pointing to an actual satellite?
We don't say that satellites are fake. We're just saying what they tell you satellites are. In other words, because they do have satellites on balloons, and you can see.
Yeah, I was about to say the sense is often equivocated or convoluted because of the ambiguity of the use of the term satellite. The sense that most people believe when they hear satellite is this machine flying in the vacuum of space around the Earth.
I definitely don't believe we have a bunch of mini moons like just floating around like Earth. That just sounds retarded to me, right?
Right. The real satellite
fighting with each other by now, and just sounds
right. The real satellites are either stationary, on land or on water, or they're floating or orbiting high in the air, but they're not in the so-called sky vacuum, the vacuum of outer space. Those are satellites.
The ones that are orbiting are balloons. NASA's the largest consumer of helium on the planet. I think they buy like 80% helium.
I think they've been doing this since like what, 1962?
By balloons, or they're moving high in the air via some airplane vehicle.
And they've been doing it. They've been doing it since 1962 and 1964. You can actually look it up, Echo 2, and they tell you it's a aerostat vehicle, which is just a highlighter than air gas that's in there. And that thing was up there for like 6 years or 5 years, something like that.
I'm sorry, did someone say largest consumer of helium on the planet?
Yep, they are. NASA. I think, who was it?
Yep.
I think it was
on the plane.
Greg?
On the plane.
I said planet.
Good catch. Good catch.
Wait, that's actually true?
I'll drop down and give
Wait, that's actually true?
It's true. I tried to get helium for a helium party the other day, and it was like impossible.
A helium party?
To like make your voices high or something, I'm guessing.
Welcome to the party.
Hi.
Yeah, he's trying to do an Alvin and the Chipmunks. He's going to do an Alvin and the Chipmunks reissue.
I think the stupidest thing I ever saw was that roadster that was out in space with supposedly it didn't have like any modifications to it to make it supposedly more heat and sun resistant. And I think
the modification. Sorry, it did have one modification: no rear view mirror, so you can't see the camera in the car.
Well, I think it looks an impossible. You can tell it's real because it looks so big.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, thank you.
You can't
soundboard.
Can't show the fourth wall. You can never do that. Everyone knows that.
What fourth wall? There is no wall.
Anyway, so I was going to tell the dude who was saying, if I could just go all the way south, see you're still implying a shape there. And the other point was just take the Earth curve calculator that I put at 25 minutes after the hour, go to a beach 5 miles away with your binoculars, and zoom into waves on the shoreline crashing, like literally with the binoculars. You can almost zoom into people's feet in the water at 5 miles away. Even just so this is not possible on a globe. So you could do this yourself. You don't need to go all the way do a north to south circumnavigation. That's implying a shape still. That's what I said. That's being dishonest. You like that's like saying like we should ask them go to the outside, go to where the sun is. Go on land in the sun.
Sorry, circumnavigation means to circle.
The solar system.
It just means we're going around in a circle. So,
yeah. We're not going around in a circle. Nope.
So, Sonny, real quick, and Elbow. So, this hamster person admits that he doesn't really believe in the consensus of the majority. would that mean that he doesn't have an argument against the fact that we accept the plane of existence? Because I heard earlier about traveling to Antarctica. I'd also like to know what that would prove, because obviously it's really weird when people try to get everybody to do things that are impossible, as those are the only things that would prove something. The things that are impossible, I find that a little suspicious.
Yeah, false qualifiers. I hate them.
Yeah, that's a really weird way to do investigation. If you actually, it's just really strange. I don't know if I don't know if this is a natural phenomenon we're seeing, or artificially created, or an artificially created one.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's a
just
spiritual phenomenon.
I believe more in the exploration side of it. You know what I mean? I want to before people lived in America, right? They sailed around to try to explore around to try to find. I mean, people lived here. I'm talking more about Europeans. You know what I mean? I'm more into the exploration side of things, not really like the scientifically testing. I more want to do an expedition to a place and see what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With my own eyes.
Yeah, and guess who's stopping you now? Guess who's stopping you now? The governments of the world. That's
The only thing that's stopping me right now is
no.
money.
Listen,
If I had the money to do it, I would do it. I don't give a shit.
And the government of the world, you can't do anything without their permission. So this is the thing. They told you already. We discovered everything. Only thing that's to discover is outer space. And guess what? You can't go there, but we can.
So yeah, there's a problem. I got to just describe this war real quick. I'm sorry. In 1980, around my time that I was born, there was a war involving the nation of Great Britain and Argentina, obviously part of South America, the southernmost tip, of course, which is Cape Horn. And they stopped these people from going to these other islands, these Falkland Islands, which were very close to the southern extremities of the plane. So they literally sent over an aircraft carrier and spent a few $1 million killing hundreds of people, hundreds of people to prevent these Argentinians from going to the place that's right next to their country. Her Majesty sent ships from thousands of miles away to make sure she killed those people so they would stop going to the southern extremities of the plane.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't do anything. You would be annihilated and they'd never hear about you again.
Yeah, because the kingdom was not about to give up that little key spot right there.
And if I may just add a little bit to that, even if you were to plan this trip and be lucky enough to bypass some of the obstacles and even start making your way close to it, you're going to run out of food or supplies or gas at some point. You're like, it's not a good idea.
Right. Not only are people preventing you, but you are physically just do not have the power to do that.
I don't know. I feel like you're underestimating humans' ability to overcome obstacles when it comes to survival, to explore things. I mean, and even the other thing is death is a part of.
Have you seen what the government takes there to go there? How they go in big ass
see how they do it, but I'm just
millions of dollars worth of equipment.
You're not sneaking your way in there with all that. Like
the Vikings sailed across the Atlantic to come to America, on longboats that aren't even covered. I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's risks. There's definitely risks.
I walked across. Okay, so in other words, I walked across the street. Therefore, I can walk to a place I'm not allowed to go. Okay.
Yeah, that was before the invention of torpedoes, missiles, rockets.
Right. So yeah.
That's a great point right there. There's places in public places you can't even go into.
Not only that, the South Pacific is known to be very, very treacherous. Very treacherous.
Can you
look?
Yeah, if you could go anywhere, then go to Area 51 and see what happens.
Look.
Yeah, start with that and see how far you get.
Yeah, all I'm saying is if I end up making my millions through crypto like I plan on doing, I'll do you guys a solid and I'll do an expedition to Antarctica and show you.
You ain't gonna do anything.
You're never gonna make it.
You'll whatever
Again, we're at the hypotheticals, Hamster.
Yeah.
Can we get back to the facts, please? If you have questions, right?
People have already tried.
I'm just saying I'm gonna do you guys a solid. That's all.
That's great. Perfect. You get back to us. You be sure to come back and tell us when that happens. Okay. You let us know. But until then, we're not gonna talk about hypotheticals anymore.
May I say this?
Does anybody remember Greater Sapien? He stole $20,000 to take a trip down to the south, and then the trip was canceled. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, go
so
for it.
what I'm trying to say to Hamster is, very often people make the error of unjustifiably rejecting truth. So you've unjustifiably rejected many truths that have been said, and the reason for that was, well, I haven't done it myself, or you just hand wave facts that debunk your assertions while you maintain this incredulous position about the shape of the earth despite the evidence that is presented to you. So you're rejecting a lot of truth for no good reason, which is not justified nor beneficial. And if you're a person who's truly seeking truth, you're not going to reject truth for any reason.
But how do I know it's truth?
Right. So this is where you start getting into
It's taking it based
philosophy,
off
because
of
you.
faith.
I mean, look at this. No, that's a presumptuous statement. And then when you ask that question, you're getting into the study of ontology. Okay, how do we know such and such? You have to study the matter. You can't just ask the question, but then you can't justifiably just ask the question and then not seek answers to it. Because just asking the question is not a valid refutation of what someone is saying, especially when it's substantiated.
I mean, let me ask you. Let me tell you this. I mean, let's say one truth that we actually told you: gas pressure without a container. You can't have gas pressure without a container. You actually looked this up. Did you not?
Yeah, I looked it up. I'm just saying
So
that,
is
like,
this true?
I didn't refute it. I said that, okay, so that's their definition.
But you asked what truth, but you just factually looked this up yourself. It needs a wall for the air molecules to bounce off of. So without the wall, you cannot have gas pressure.
Right, and that's why I said that so you guys know for a fact that there's some sort of container around the Earth, and I'm not refuting that. There must be, if that's what pressure is.
So that's one true right there. You say, well, how do you know what that's true?
What do you mean?
Bam. So that's what I meant is that you asked us, how do we know it's true? Because we're telling you, and we're actually telling you to look it up yourself and actually look for definitions and everything like that. And you've done this, so that's what we mean. That's the truth. We have laser tests that you can definitely look up and measure. I mean, everybody talking about water? Did anybody tell them about the water? I mean, what's water? Water always remains level, right? And they say,
so that you don't miss the meaning, Hamster, is he's co-signing what I was saying earlier. Do not reject truth. There's no good reason to reject truth.
Yeah, exactly.
You've done that repeatedly. And don't ask the question, how do we know, without seeking the answers for yourself. And then when someone gives you an answer that is substantiated, don't reject that either. But you've done that. I strongly reckon you stop doing that, because it's not beneficial nor justified.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of subjective on your own, opinion, though.
You see, that's a presumptuous statement. It's not subjective.
Yeah.
According to morality and according to
morality is subjective.
That's not true.
We don't need to get
according
into
to morality, it's unjustified.
Let me ask you: are you an atheist, Gregory? I mean, not Gregory. Hamster.
Hamster.
No, I'm not an atheist.
So what I said was not subjective. It was an objective statement. According to morality, it's not justified, and according to ontology and hermeneutics, that is not beneficial. So I just gave you an objective answer, and you just hand waved it without knowledge. And now I gave you a counter argument which substantiates and defends the veracity of what I said to you. This is what we're trying to teach people to do.
So for now, we do have somebody else new in here, Caroline. And just a reminder that if you're not gold, silver, or gold plus, if you could please mute your mic for the next 22 minutes. Caroline, are you there?
Caroline.
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh shit!
Hi, Caroline.
I'm muted again.
Okay, welcome to the server. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I am well, thank you. So,
voice is so cute.
yeah. So, what shape do you think the Earth is? Caroline, are you still there?
It's very funny. You're the first girl I've ever met in this channel.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Ladies' night tag.
Yeah. What about
Yeah, girls' night.
No, every Friday.
Yeah. So, have you been in the server long, Caroline?
No, that's my first time.
Oh, this is your first time.
Oh, there's an accent too.
Awesome.
But
Caroline,
like
where you
I've
from?
joined with my friend. She's often here. Maybe you know her. Her name is Katie.
No, I don't think I heard that. But
Caroline, I hear an accent. Where are you from?
Nice to meet you. I'm from Switzerland.
Oh, damn! I thought it was Spanish.
Yeah.
So I guess your accent is quite mild, it's quite slight.
She's not finished. She just got in here.
Yeah, but I've joined with
Get out of here. Bam.
That was a joke, Caroline.
that was funny. I think it went right over her head.
It's okay.
That's funny. I should have thought of that one.
So, Caroline, what brought you to the server?
Yeah, like I already told. I already joined with a friend in this server.
Great. So, what shape do you think that the Earth is?
I like to inspire myself of other opinions, but like right now, I think the Earth is round. I'm sorry, is round.
Okay, so why do you think that the Earth is round? And round's not really like round in what shape? That's not really a.
I think there are many reasons. First of all, I think the world spins around because gravity and this stuff just works with that the world is spinning around. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you look at look out of when you look at a wood, or when you are at the sea or something, you can't see the whole sea because the world is, in my opinion, right now, the Earth is round. And because of that, you can't see the end of the world.
Okay. All right. So I think maybe the 3 points is a good point to start with, Caroline. Does anybody want to take her through that if she's willing to have a conversation? I mean, I can, but if anybody wants the opportunity to do it,
I'll speak.
You take it. She's the first one. She's the first one. You're the first one she's ever encountered here. You take it.
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Do it.
I mean, go ahead, guys, because got background noise at the moment. Go ahead.
Well, and it is Precious Metal Takeover. So again, I'll ask if you're not gold, silver, or gold plus, please mute your mic.
Before I ban you, Dempsey.
Yeah,
Dempsey, who let you across the border?
Okay, I'll do it, Caroline. All right, so we have 3 questions that we like to ask people, just kind of, gauge where you're at. We kind of have a good idea. So these aren't trick questions. If you can just answer honestly, that's the best thing. If you don't know, that's okay to say that. They're just positive claims made by the globe model. So you even just had spoken about this and why you think you can't see over, I think it was water you were saying. So how have they measured the curvature of the Earth since ancient times up until today?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, good, honest answer. So how do you know that it has been measured that the Earth has actually been detected to be spinning on its own axis, which would be axial rotation? So how have they measured axial rotation?
Honestly, I don't know, but let me think for a second. Maybe
Yeah, for sure.
they calculated it.
And do you have any idea on how they would actually calculate something like that? Because that's kind of like the proof that we're asking for. How have they proven to detect that?
Maybe because of the night on the other side, like the other half of the Earth has another time of day and another time of night. I mean, that's also a reason why I'm believing that the Earth is round, because the opposite side from where you live have another time right now.
Night.
Sorry, did somebody say something?
I expect nothing, and I'm still let down.
I didn't catch that. Okay, so basically you're saying because we have day and night, right? That's why you're saying it's axial rotation?
Yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I think the Earth is round, because the opposite side has another day-night time. Yeah, like it's now on the opposite side, it's night.
Right. Okay. So when I look at the sky and I see the sun, I observe that the sun is actually moving. Do you observe that the sun is moving, or do you feel like you're moving?
I think the sun is moving.
Right. That's what we observe, that the sun is moving, right? But that's not the claim that's made on the globe model. They say that we're moving, right? But we don't observe that. So that's not really a proof, right, of measuring, because what I observe goes against what, I can actually.
Like when you're in a train or something, you observe that the wood, or I don't know where you're traveling, but like you observe that the world is moving, but actually if someone stands outside the train, like on the road or something, they observe that you are moving. So I don't think that this is a point which turn my point of view.
But with the train, I know I'm in a train. I know that the train is moving. Somebody that is standing outside observes that the train is moving. This is something that we know is, actually happening. So I'm not sure what you're getting at
Can
there.
you stand outside the Earth and observe the Earth moving?
I think she's just trying to say she thinks it's like
yeah.
illusion sort of thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like if somebody would stay outside, like they aren't on the Earth, they are like
that's a hypothetical though.
Yeah, that's not actually proving the axial rotation, right? We're just giving an example of what, you can observe and what we actually know is happening with the train, right? But back to the whole axial rotation of the Earth itself, how do we know how has that been measured to actually be rotating?
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't study this. I mean, I wasn't at a university, and I think I can only tell you how they calculated this if I would go to the universe and calculate it for myself. So I can't answer the question how I can calculated it.
Right. Okay. So basically, then we can just kind of chalk it up to you don't know how it's actually been measured that the Earth is actually rotating.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the last question has to do with the vacuum of space, and that it is if it is in fact a medium that they say that we can travel to, how can we exist in a pressurized, gas pressure system next to a near perfect vacuum without containment? So basically, how do we have gas pressure without containment? And how do we not get sucked up into this vacuum of space?
I'm sorry, I don't know the name in English because I'm from Switzerland, but like above us, there is. Wie heißt das? Treibhauseffekt, dieses. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I have to search the word on English because I don't know the word on English.
Caroline.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Above
Caroline.
this.
You could try
sky,
saying it in your language first.
Yeah. Above the sky, there is I don't know how to explain it, but like, did you heard from Treibhaus effect? That's like when the sun shines through the atmosphere, like things from the atmosphere, maybe.
Oh, somebody's saying in the chat. Are you talking about the ozone? Potentially, possibly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you think that the ozone layer is a physical container?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Well, ozone is a gas also.
Can you make a tire with ozone?
So maybe it's like the. You mean how the I don't get your question. Your question was like how the gas still is on the earth and we can breathe with it.
No, the question
How
is
The
question is
question
how
is-
can you have gas pressure next to a vacuum without a solid container?
Yeah, I think the atmosphere is like a barrier.
So, what is the
This
atmosphere?
barrier you imagine, you see, do you have a bike or car?
You have a bike?
Okay, so once in a while you pump in air inside your tires, right?
Yeah.
Until they get very, very hard. So inside that tire, there is a high pressure of gas, pressurized gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ozone layer behaves like the tire.
Yeah.
No.
But the ozone is actually also a gas. It's oxygen 3. It's a molecule, which is a gas. Exactly like the O2 that we need to breathe to live. And plus the other gases like nitrogen, etc. They are all gases.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Oh, is there gas above the ozone, Caroline? That was just a question in the chat. I'm reading it. Are you still there?
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
oh yeah, but can you answer my question first?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so did you hear my question? I can ask it again, and then you can ask your question. Is there gas above the ozone? Caroline, you still there?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. Like I didn't say that the ozone is gas, like that says another person, so I don't know the answer. I think the only person who knows the answer is the person which told that the ozone is gas.
Ah, yes, that will be me. I'm get beget.
Okay, so I guess you don't know because you thought the ozone was actual physical, yet it's actually a gas. So basically we have gas trying to contain a gas. But anyways, we can pick at that in a second. You had a question? What was your question, Caroline?
Yeah, and my question is here anyone that believes the Earth is flat?
Okay, we don't believe that the Earth is flat, but we can get to that after we finish the 3 points because we're still on gas pressure right now. Okay. So we're not going to divert to something else just yet.
So
okay,
what happens when you take a pressurized can and the same pressurized tire gets a nail in it, a hole? What happens to the air inside? Outside?
Wow, you've kind
okay. I was gonna ask if I was me or.
That was Sam. That was pretty interesting.
You were roboting heavy, but Caroline, can you make a tire with ozone without the rubber? Can you just make a tire with ozone and put the air in it? Can you do that? Caroline.
It's a tough question.
Sorry, the connection was bad.
Can you make a tire with ozone? You know, instead of rubber, just use the ozone and you can contain the air. Can you do that?
I never tried it.
Do you think it's possible?
I didn't try it. I didn't touch the ozone. I can't answer this question.
So you don't know?
So
I don't know. I think nobody can answer this question because neither of us touched the ozone, had any experiences with it. So we can't judge, honestly.
Caroline,
I mean, we can discuss about it. We can discuss about it, but like, I can't answer the question, and but neither you.
That's a good answer.
Real quick, everyone. One second. There is a voice text chat related to the conversation. It's right above this voice channel. Can you see the text chat, Caroline?
Yeah, I have to look.
Yeah, it's right next above to the to this voice channel.
And people
over
are
there,
pinging you as well.
Okay,
So if that's easier, yeah.
We got it.
Yes, people might be posting, making comments or posting information related to the conversation. So that's letting you know. Because you're saying that we cannot answer this question, but the thing is, what they're trying to tell you is that to have gas pressure, you need a container, and the gas ozone is not a container. To have ozone and pressurized gases, a container like rubber or something solid is required, and this is demonstrable and is repeatable, and this is how it works.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if you asked this question, but this question. No, this example. Somebody said if you push air into a bike.
Yeah, that will be me.
The tire,
tire.
Yes.
Then if I would have a point where it isn't closed, the whole air goes out because of the pressure of the air in the tire, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so but like when you do you believe that if you go on, like, for example, Mount Everest, or if you go higher, the air pressure is much lower than on the ground? And I think because of this, just because there isn't a high pressure of air, just a low one. I mean, if you stand on the Mount Everest, you nearly can't breathe. You can't even breathe.
Right. That's right. No, real quick, but because that's a great explanation of what we experience, that's a very good answer to what we all experience, right? When we go higher, we can't breathe as well, right? But wouldn't that also mean that there couldn't be a dense amount of gas above our heads, right? Because there's less pressure, so there couldn't be this ozone, which is a dense layer keeping all the gas in, right? That would be the opposite, right? Because it gets less dense. Therefore, there can't be a barrier, which would increase or demand density. You see how that works?
I mean, my point is, if you go higher, and I mean, the Mount Everest isn't the end of isn't the start of our ozone.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you go much higher, there isn't isn't less air pressure than on the Mount Everest, and even on the Mount Everest, it's not much. So I think because of this low pressure, the ozone can hold, and the atmosphere can hold this gas inside them. Like, if the pressure isn't that big, if we just have in our, I don't know,
in our realm?
wheels, and if our wheels, sorry, if our wheels hadn't that much different of a pressure, and there isn't gravity, which, and the bike also weighs something, and if you ride it, then the weight of yourself and of the bike pressures the wheels. So, like, if this wouldn't if this wasn't that strong, I think there wouldn't be, like, the air straight away goes out.
Okay, so there couldn't be an ozone barrier, though, that's pressurized up there, because you're saying there's less pressure up there, right? So there couldn't be an ozone layer up there with more pressure, right?
But the ozone, I searched it in English.
But I'm just saying that it doesn't increase in pressure, right? After Mount Everest, it still continues to lose pressure, right? Which means that there can't be an ozone layer that's pressurized, right, with gases, because that would require more gases above Mount Everest, right?
Yeah, but, like, it's another gas.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't know there was another gas up there.
Yeah, I
Maybe you can
searched
tell us
it.
about that.
The ozone concentration, I got it on German, is from O3. I don't know. How
O3
to
molecule.
Yeah, molecule O3.
Okay, I'm just gonna interject here because we're 2 minutes past the hour. So Precious Metal Takeover is now over. So thank you everybody who joined us. I just want to wrap up the 3 points. So for Carolyn, or Caroline, sorry. So even with you saying that, you thinking the ozone is a physical thing, it's not. We've already stated that, but you would then agree, I think you would have to say that, gas pressure needs containment. We can continue the conversation after, but basically what the whole point is to show you with these 3 points is that these are just beliefs. These are not things that we can actually, substantiate these claims, right? You can prove that they had measured curvature, axial rotation, and you need containment for gas pressure. So thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, Redford.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Real
Yeah.
quick.
Oh yeah,
quick
thanks,
for
Cap.
some-
Thanks, everybody.
Caroline, I'm gonna